Shalom and welcome to Eitz Chaim, the Tree of Life. This week's parsha is parsha Vayeira, and I'm going to speak about the commitment of Abraham on his 10th trial, as well as the obedience of not only Abraham but his son Isaac, concerning the akeidah, the binding of Isaac. And he said, "Take your son, your favored one, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as an olah, a burnt offering, on one of the heights that I will point out to you." Genesis chapter 22, verse 2. The epitome of the akeidah, the binding of Isaac, was, in my own estimation, the resolve necessary on the part of Abraham to follow through with God's commandment to bring his son Isaac as an offering to the mountain shown to him. This was the 10th and final test of his faithfulness towards God, as proved by his obedience to carry out his will. Previously, Abraham trusted in God to follow his directives, despite all the prevailing challenges, ramifications, and risks involved. Now he acceded to the command to give up Isaac, his only son, who was destined to carry on the legacy, mission, and message of the one true God. Yet Abraham trusted in Hashem, perhaps knowing that God would be able to resurrect Isaac, as implied by the Zohar, or of the bracha, the blessing, "Blessed is he who quickens the dead," is attributed to Abraham at the time he was about to offer up Isaac. The tension point between Abraham and Isaac occurs when Isaac asks his father, "Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering?" Abraham responds, "God will provide himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son." Then the narrative conveys the resolution to Isaac's concern. So they both went together. Genesis 22, verses 7 through 8. The challenge of Isaac was to be in one accord with God's will. As the sages explain, it was at this moment that Isaac realized that he was to be the offering. Even so, he was one within the intentions of his father. They went together to the Mizbeach, the altar prepared on Mount Moriah. Rashi comments, with equal intentions to fulfill the will of the Creator. Therefore, let not Isaac's commitment be diminished, for he willingly went with his father Abraham up the mountain. Therefore, not only Abraham's devotion and obedience, his faithfulness to Hashem, but also the example he set for his son, who went willingly and permitted himself to be bound as an offering, even though eventually the angel stayed Abraham's hand, because this was a test, final 10th test for Abraham to prove his obedience towards God and demonstrate his faithfulness through his obedience. Shabbat Shalom.